Amayan Buntag, and welcome to my Filipino adventure, episode something, 100 and something. I'll put it, it's listed below. So, what we're going to do today is, since we're not ready yet, we're not 100% ready to get the interview and the visa, everything all wrapped up, but it is time for me to start thinking about booking my flight. And I have a general idea that it's going to be sometime in May that I'm going to fly over to Manila. So I'm going to start searching for my best price. So I'm going to show you my process, or give you some, hopefully give you some tips on how I find the best prices. And it's not always just, it's not just trying to find, going through the internet and finding the best price. Sometimes it's looking at different airports. It might be really cheap to fly out of LA to Manila, but how much cheaper is it? Then I'll have to fly from Detroit to LA. So let's, sometimes it's just a matter of doing some math, saying, well, I can fly to LA from Spirit Airlines for a couple of $100. And then from there, I could try to get a flight, because I know it's a lot cheaper to fly from LA than from Detroit. Or normally, I usually drive to Chicago to fly to the Philippines, because it's cheaper to fly out of Chicago than it is Detroit. So I would check those things in your case. So I don't know, wherever you live, check your local airport. But if you live not too far, within a 4 or 5 hour drive of a bigger city, which has a bigger hub, they say a more active airport, chances are the flights are going to be cheaper out of there. So is it worth it for you to drive there, or is it worth it for you to fly to a different location, then fly there, dollars and cents wise? Also, I think I will probably cover all of this again in the next part of the video, but I got my, sorry to get graphic, my ass kills me on that long ass flight. Sitting in a airport chair seat for 15 or 16 hours watching movies, and I don't sleep really well. I cannot get comfortable and sleep on a plane that well for more than 30 minutes at a time, like in and out of sleep. I should go to the doctor and get some Ambient, is that the stuff? Something to make me sleep. I think I'm going to try it this time so I can sleep the whole way through. But then hopefully I won't snore or fart or something like that. Anyway, so if I can avoid any airtime, wouldn't be bad. Or if I could fly to LA and then decompress, that's a 5 or 6 or 5 hour flight from Detroit to LA. Fly out there, then maybe get a hotel. It costs money to get a hotel, but decompress, have some dinner, shake off the air flight, and then the next morning jump on a shorter flight to the Philippines. It might be worth it if it adds up correctly, dollars and cents wise for me. Because I'm not just looking for the very, very cheapest flight. I'm looking for the most, I guess, economical and comfortable at the same time for me. I don't mind paying a little bit more, but at the same time, I'm also kind of a cheap bastard. I'm frugal, so I'd like to get the best deal possible. So watch this video, and then don't go away, just watch it. Okay, so we're gonna just jump right into it. This is a curved monitor, so the aspect ratio looks a little odd, and I'm just using my phone to film my monitor. So it's gonna look a little weird. I forgot what these color waves are called. There's a name for it, gloss, I forget. It's an effect. Anyway, I just wanna show you something real quick before we get into tips. I tell people, and a lot of people don't believe me. This is back 2017 in April. This is, where the price is at? There it is. You see it right there? This is what I paid for my round trip ticket, $585.56. That's how much it cost me to fly my very first trip to the Philippines. Round trip. Now, this wasn't from Detroit where I live. I drove, or actually I took a bus from Detroit to Chicago because it was cheaper. EVA Air flies out of Chicago. They don't fly to Detroit. So I just drove, or I'm sorry, I took a bus, which was like $40 to Chicago, and then went right to the airport and flew out So I saved myself quite a bit of money by going to Chicago. So that's going to be one of my tips. But that was the only time I ever got that price. The next time I flew out, I did the same thing. I drove my car to Chicago this time. And I stayed at a friend's house who lives in Chicago. And this time it was $717.56. See that right there at the top? And so it went up. I couldn't explain why. Maybe I thought it was the time of the year. And then the third time it got even higher. This time I took the train, which I recommend. I took the train from Detroit to Chicago. That was fun. And then I flew out of Chicago, and it's always the same flight, the same time. I leave at the same time at night. I have the same layover in Taipei. It's all with the same exact flight, different times, and that was $1,049. That was double what the first time I paid, and I don't understand why I got that first flight for so cheap. Then I said, screw it, I'm just going to fly out of Detroit this time, and I paid about the same price, $1,033 last trip. So I don't know why. I am not a travel agent. If you have tips, please let me know. I would love to get more information. This is what I've learned so far. First tip I'm going to say is check all the different popular sites. I found Travelocity for me so far to be the best. They have pretty much the same prices everybody else does, and obviously I use them quite a bit. I just went back to Orlando with those guys with Travelocity. Everything always runs smooth. They're a good company and they're reliable. But first, I always check out this place called Skyscanner. Now, this is one site you should always go to first, because what you can do is, let's say you're flying from Los Angeles to Manila, and instead of doing the dates that you think that you want to go, do the whole month. Let's go to May, and it will show you the prices of the whole month. So if you're flexible, you don't have to leave on Wednesday and come back on a Sunday, you know, these certain dates. If you're flexible and you can change your days around, you can see here, like it's $229 here, but it's $300 on the 15th, and it's $451 if you leave on a Saturday, or for the 29th for some reason it's $574. So different days have different prices. Returning, like if you want to return on a Friday, it's $620, but if you return on the Thursday, it's $231. That's almost $400 difference. So if you're flexible with your prices or with your dates, definitely check out Skyscanner. Hit entire month, say the month that you're going to fly, and then you can pick your days. Okay, so this is how I picked out the 13th. And then let me see, I want to stay a couple weeks, so let's see, I'm going to come back. What's the cheapest? I'd like to come back the 29th, but that's $398. But if I came back the 31st, that's $70, $80 cheaper. But if I come home on Tuesday, it's even $231. That's the best. So let's say I'm going to come home on the 28th. Okay, so that is $462 from LA. Now, from Detroit, it's going to be more. Let's, I'll show you that, but you get the idea, right? Well, let's do this as an example. Let's do from DTW, which is Detroit Metro. We pick the same dates, and what was $462 from LA to Manila. But hold on, it takes a second. The prices do go down. The cheapest is $906. But look at that, 39-hour flight. I guess what I'm also going to say too is there's a lot of variables in planning a trip. Now, if you're just going for the cheapest price, no matter what, and you're okay with real long layovers, real long flights, and not being able to pick your days or whatnot, that's cool. Do it that way. I don't mind paying a little bit more if it's worth it for creature comforts. Like a 36-hour flight, I don't think I could do that. plus on top of that, you have to add 12 hours for the time difference. So it's 2 days basically that you're gonna lose of your trip. And that's $867. But the best one, 1,060. That's 23 hours, okay? That seems like a pretty good deal. Finnair, awesome. I'm a Finlander. Okay. That's from Detroit to Manila, but LA we already know is $462. Now, I know I can fly to LA from Detroit for $225. So what I'm thinking this time is I'm going to fly to LA, spend a day there, because it's about a 5-hour flight from Detroit to LA, then decompress, get a hotel, go out to dinner, maybe see some sights, maybe stay there for a couple of days. Of course, I'll have to pay for the hotel, and that's going to add to my expenses. But even if I don't, let's just say I fly there and then get a direct flight from the airport on to Manila and don't get a hotel room. But I think I'm going to get a hotel room because these long trips kind of kill me. So if I can break that up a little bit, 5 hours to LA, relax, and then take a flight from LA to Manila. I figured out it's going to be about cheaper still. It's going to be about $700 and something to do it that way. So if you have that, so that's just a couple tips. I would say always check Skyscanner, and but here, thing about Skyscanner though, is then you say, all right, I will try this. I will buy this flight, and then it'll give you all these different companies that offer you this flight. Sky Tours, I don't know anything about them. I would research Sky Tours and see if there's any complaints. The best way to always book your flight, I trust Travelocity, but if you don't trust the company you're going through, if they've got questionable reviews, pay the extra money and book directly through the airlines. That's what I would say. So anyway, please let me know if you have tips or secrets, or how do you find your best flights. I would like to learn because I'm kind of new at this. This is what I found so far, and hopefully this will help some of you. But if there's even better ways, let me know. Skyscanner, Travelocity, and then also you can go directly to the airlines, and they also do, most airlines will also tell you day to day what it costs to fly out. Because some days it's, it might cost you $500 on a Friday and $300 on a Saturday. So check day to day if you're flexible. Okay, so in closing, so you saw that what I do. Hopefully it wasn't too fuzzy for you to see the screen. But like I kept on saying in that video, I really would like, if you know good tricks, or if you have some links to websites that you trust that give you a really good deal, or if there's any if anyone does this anymore, is there any more travel agents out there anymore who know secrets and tips? Please put that in the comments, because that's only going to help me, it's going to help all of us, because we're one big traveling community who all want to get to the same place. So yeah, do that for us. That'd be great. So hopefully you learned something. If not, I apologize. Thumbs up, thumbs down, subscribe. If you haven't, go ahead and subscribe. If you have subscribed, hit the bell, let you know when I post a new video. And as always, stay cool, stay classy.